What's going on, SE Nation? Welcome back to another video. In case you don't know me, my name is Ramzi Majraba. I'm a sales engineer out of Ottawa, Canada, and today I'm going to talk about the top 10 things we can do to build a better relationship with our account managers. Generally speaking, there's a lot of things that we can do. I'm going to try to go a little bit beyond the obvious of like be nice and be interested and buy them gifts and all that, to things that we can do. Maybe you're not a nice person in general. So let's discuss that. How can we build a better relationship with our account managers? First off, why should we build a better relationship with our account managers? In my experience, the better my relationship is with my account manager, the easier my life is. The more I can communicate, the more I can tell them I'm not happy with the way you're doing things. You know, think of it as you have a brother or a sister that you're trying to work with, and if they're pissing you off or doing something that you don't like, which could happen because we are humans and we don't think exactly the same, so we're gonna be rubbing each other the wrong way potentially. So what are the top 10 things that we can do to build a better relationship with our sales counterpart? And this could be if you're a one-to-one relationship, if you're one SE supporting one account manager, or if you're one SE supporting 10 account managers. It's exactly the same thing that you need to do. So number one is be amazing at your job. I mean, that might be a little bit obvious, but we're expecting the account managers to love us for whatever. They want results. They're results oriented. They want to be able to close deals. They want to be able to do demos. And being great at your job doesn't mean doing whatever they ask you to do. It means if you're going to do a demo, you're going to do an amazing demo. If you're going to do a discovery, you're going to do an amazing discovery. It's not just you're going to be prepared. You're not going to show up unprepared. You're not going to show up without your laptop, or forgot to charge your laptop the day before, whatever it is. Second thing is do what you say you're going to do.
I'm a man of my word.
It kind of piggybacks off the first one. If you're in a meeting with a customer and in the end of the meeting you say, I will send you this data sheet for this product, or I'm going to send you more information about that product. If you say it tonight, you're going to send it tonight. If you say tomorrow, you're going to send it tomorrow. If you work with your account manager and tell them, I'm going to send you the bill of material today or tomorrow, you will do that. This is part of being amazing at your job, but this is also something specific that shows that they can trust you. You're holding yourself to your word. You're not going to have to be reminded to send all this stuff, because the account managers, they have their own things that they need to remember. They cannot remember everything for everybody else. So you have to find your own way of keeping your word. And people forget we're humans, but also we have to make sure that we do not forget often. The third thing that we need to do is, if we say no, we have to provide an alternative. Ramsey, I need you to demo tomorrow about this thing. Not really. It's not going to happen. And, you say it nicely. Like, hey, Mr. Salesperson, or Mrs. Salesperson, or Miss Salesperson, I will not be able to do the demo tomorrow because I don't have enough information to do the demo. I need a certain amount of time to actually prepare for the demo. How about you give me a couple of days and I will do the most amazing demo you'll ever see in a couple of days. Or, Ramsey, I need you to solve this problem for the customer tomorrow. Or, Ramsey, I need you to go on site to the customer and fix this problem that he's having. And, well, I'm working on this opportunity, that opportunity. How about I get support to jump in and fix the problem, and I make sure that they fix it, right? It doesn't mean that you have to do it. It just means that you might have to get somebody else to do it, and you have to manage it. Number 4, understand where your counterpart is coming from and what their goal is. Their goal isn't necessarily to do a demo, right? Their goal is to close the deal. A demo is a means to an end to close the deal. So if they ask you, hey, do this demo for me, and you say no, going back to the previous point, tell them why. Like, I will do a better demo that will help you close the deal faster if I can get a couple of days. If you're in a meeting with a customer, understand that the words that are coming out of your salesperson's mouth, it could be fluff, but there also could be strategy behind it. I've been with account managers who every word they say is calculated. In addition to like, hey, how are you doing? How are the kids? How are the family? Whatever. Even those might be calculated because they're trying to build a relationship. But if the account manager is telling them, oh, we will not have the product, like if he wants to speed up the process, he wants to do the demo as soon as possible. The product will be available for this amount of time, but then other people might take it. Well, like I'm thinking from a hardware perspective, we have limited resources. From a SaaS perspective, there might be another example, but keep in mind that everything they say has a reason. Understand what they're trying to say so that you can work with them, not against them. Don't say anything that will negate what they just said. Numéro 5. Take feedback. I would love to get feedback from my account managers. So when they do, I want to take it. Also, sometimes I'm not expecting feedback and they give me feedback and I get defensive. Like, why is he telling me that? Why is he saying that? I did this amazingly. Or I did that amazingly. Keep in mind that they're a different person than you. If you say something, they might understand it in a different way than you said it or you meant it, which means there's a possibility that the customer understood it in a different way as well. And if they give you that feedback, even if it's not asked for, take it, understand it, see what you can do with it. And this is just one example. Maybe the demo you talked for a long time, or they wanted you to show a specific feature that you never ended up showing. Whether you're right or wrong for showing it or not showing it, take that feedback and use what you can from it. Some account managers don't know what they're talking about, and when they give you feedback, you might not want to listen. But every story there's a grain of truth. See what's the truth behind their story, why they're telling you that, so you can take feedback and get better. That's the way to continuous improvement. If you don't take feedback from anybody, how are you going to improve? How are you going to get better? How do you know what you're doing wrong? How are you going to become that great SE who does their job very, very well, that they can build a relationship with their account managers? Number 6, don't be a doormat. So I mentioned earlier, like, do your job. If you're going to say no, provide an alternative. The most important thing is not to be a doormat. You are not an employee of the salesperson. You are a partner of the salesperson. You have a say. They might have the final say, but you still have a say. I've had so many times where a customer messages me and it's like, hey Ramsey, we're having this issue. What's happening? And my account manager will right away, Ramsey, go visit them. Like, he will jump on and say that. Go visit them. Which is a great idea if I know that they're in their office and they have time to actually work with me. Maybe they sent that email and just walked away for a coffee break, or they sent that email and then they started working on something else. So in my mind, it would be better to actually just get some time to work with them, whether it's WebEx or in person, but at least schedule a time so I don't drive for 20 to 30 minutes to get there only to say that, oh, I'm not available, or they might not be at their desk. A billion reasons. SEs are busy as well, so we need to do things differently. And we need to be able to tell our account managers that we don't think the way you do. You think in 5-minute chunks. I'm going to call this guy, I'm going to call that guy, I'm going to call that guy. Pop, 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 one after the other. You might have an hour meeting here and there, but if you're not in a meeting, you're working in 5-minute chunks, whereas SEs are working in hour-long chunks. I'm working on this demo. Most of the work that SEs do not take less than an hour. Even building a bill of material takes an hour. Working on a proposal takes an hour. Working on RFPs take hour chunks. I'm not saying it's an hour, it's a multiple of hours, not a multiple of minutes. So we have to be able to explain that to our account managers, and being able to explain that will lead to good relationships. Also, having good relationships will make it easier to explain it. So it's a vicious cycle, or a good cycle, depending on how you want to see it. Number 7, if you make a mistake, don't make excuses, own it. Don't put it on somebody else. Don't say, oh, this happened, that happened, or don't blame the customer. Own the mistakes that you've made. It's very hard to trick people into thinking that it's not your mistake. Especially if it is your mistake. If it's not your mistake, fine. Obviously don't own a mistake that you didn't make. But if you made a mistake, if you know in your heart of hearts that you made this mistake, Don't try to blame other people. Don't get defensive. Just own it and move on. Which brings me to to point number 8. Learn from your mistakes. Don't make the same mistake twice. If you did it the first time, learn from it. Do it again. Don't do it again. I've learned in my industry, there's a lot of interoperability between my product and somebody else's product. Not everything works all the time the way that the end user is expecting it to work. Mainly because we're two different products. We're not going to think the same. It's like an SE and an account manager. You're going to have to figure things out. And I made the mistake in the past where I would go in assuming that things are going to work, and I don't have an escalation path to someone who can help me in case things break. Because I am the systems engineer, the sales engineer. I am not the software designer who knows how things work within it. So the mistake I made is that I don't go through the escalation plan, or I don't have an escalation plan. And what I've learned from it is to have an escalation plan, to find someone to help me in a timely fashion. I can always get someone to help me after a week or two of begging, but I need to know a path. Like, this happens, that's the person I'm gonna call. That's the mistake that I learned, or at least one of them. I've made a million mistakes. That's one of the major mistakes that I learned from, and I haven't done it again. I've always gone into a proof of concept with an escalation plan, even if the product managers don't enjoy it or don't want to give me the engineer's name. I will get that engineer's name one way or another, because I will not go through that again. Number 9, and this is part of the sales portion of the sales engineering. Find the account managers' leads. Find them leads. We are in front of the customers a lot, whether we're talking to the end users, talking to the managers, directors, CIOs, whoever. We are in front of the customers all the time. We are in the lab or on a Zoom WebEx working with them. We're not just selling them, we're working with them. We're working as a team to achieve a goal, which allows us to have conversations with account managers that account managers don't have. They don't get the chance to do it. If they're not selling with this customer, they're selling with somebody else. We are selling with customers, and then we're working with customers, and then we're implementing with customers, potentially, depending on the company. And that gives us insight. I've had so many leads given to me just by being in front of the customer and them saying, oh, so-and-so was looking for something similar to what we're doing today. Do you want to talk to him? Or I have this colleague at this company who's doing something similar. Do you want to talk to them? Bring them leads. If you bring them leads, they'll be so happy, especially if they're qualified leads. So do some basic qualification of the technology, not necessarily the budget. So doing that will make them very happy, will make them appreciate you, and that will build a relationship. And last but not least, win them deals. Do a demo that will close the deal. Do a demo that will show the value of the product so much that they cannot refuse the offer, no matter what the price is. That will mean so much to everybody. And a common complaint is that SEs don't win deals. SEs may lose deals, but they don't win deals. But the fact of the matter is, SEs do win deals. You cannot win a deal without a proper discovery. You cannot win a deal without a proper demo. You cannot win a deal without proper follow-up. So if we do these very well, and the price is reasonable, and we show that the value of buying our solution is higher than the price they're going to pay for it, it will close deals. And it will win deals. You might not be the person receiving the purchase order in the end. You might not be the person asking for the purchase order in the end. But you'll make it so easy that when the account manager goes and asks for the PO, the customer will give them the PO on the spot, right then and there. And that will make their jobs easier. That will make them love you pretty much. And that will build a relationship with them. So these are the top 10 things that I can think of. If you have any other tips, please leave it in the comments below. Share, like, subscribe, do all that. Let YouTube know that this is a good channel. Let people know that this is a good channel. Feed the YouTube algorithm, my friends. And I will see you next time.